On a recent edition of Live, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos acknowledged violating Lola Consuelos' privacy. Even though they were boasting about Lola at the time, this was nonetheless an infringement on her privacy. When Lola exacted her retribution in a recent episode, Kelly finally turned the tables. Kelly Ripa is reprimanded by Lola Consuelos for eavesdropping. This tale began some time ago when Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa were boasting about Mark's daughter Lola. This occurred when Lola was getting ready for the release of her major album and was posting some of her songs on social media. Kelly claimed, however, that she was listening in on the music-making sessions. According to Kelly, she and Mark watched Lola filming one of her songs while standing outside her door. Although it was endearing to watch Kelly and Mark rave about Lola's music, it also felt strange to know that they were listening outside her door and secretly recording her songs. But since they made the announcement in real time, Lola was aware of what they were doing and was merely waiting for the right moment to bring them back. The retaliation occurred when Kelly celebrated producer Art Moore, who has been with Kelly since she first appeared on the daytime talk show, with a new podcast. At her podcasting studio, she created a lovely setup for him that looked like a party. It contained nuts, chips, Pepsi, and screwdrivers. At that point, Lola interrupted Art's interview to inquire if they were using screwdrivers. She acknowledged that she was listening outside the door. The new music by Lola Consuelos is coming. Lola's new music isn't limited to teasers, which is wonderful news for fans. Fans can now hear at least one of the tracks themselves, despite Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos boasting about it. The song The Watcher is now available on YouTube. The song has a soulful melody and is a synthy dance song. As the 23-year-old singer's second release since 2022, it is also her most recent single. She is also thinking of doing a tour with her songs in the near future. "I really want to do live performances," Lola declared. "I just want to make sure that I'm happy with the music I'm releasing, that I'm at ease with it, and that I'm prepared for that, which I believe I am. However, I don't think anything needs to be rushed." The morning air inside the Live with Kelly and Mark studio buzzed with its usual mix of caffeine, nerves, and audience chatter. But there was an added layer of excitement this time. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos' daughter, Lola Consuelos, was set to make a rare appearance. Viewers had seen her in brief cameos over the years, but a full segment with Lola sitting between her parents, that was must-watch television. Kelly, as always, was in her element. Her eyes twinkled with the mischievous energy that longtime fans recognized instantly, the look that said she had stories to tell, and none of them would escape unscathed. Mark adjusted his tie, already anticipating where this was going. He knew his wife had a tendency to poke fun, especially at their kids, and Lola was not one to let her mom have the last word. The cameras rolled. Kelly leaned forward, grinning ear to ear. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, "you've seen her grow up in embarrassing photos I've accidentally shared on this show. You've heard stories about her questionable teenage antics. Please welcome our very own Lola Consuelos." The audience erupted in cheers. Lola, stylish in a sleek blazer and wide-leg jeans, walked out with the poise of someone who had grown up under the public eye but never fully indulged it. She hugged her dad, then her mom, and waved before settling into the chair. Kelly wasted no time. "First of all," she said, "thank you for gracing us with your presence. I know you're too busy being fabulous to visit your parents on live television." Lola rolled her eyes playfully. "Well, you begged me, Mom, and also promised to not embarrass me. Yet here we are." The audience laughed. Mark smirked and held his mug close, as though sipping it would protect him from the inevitable fireworks. Kelly feigned innocence. "Me? Embarrass you? Never. I just thought it would be nice to have my brilliant daughter here to share what life is like as my daughter." "See, that's the problem," Lola shot back, crossing her legs with dramatic flair. "Life as your daughter is basically you telling all of America every embarrassing thing I've ever done. Like the time I cut my own bangs before prom. Or when I tried to cook chicken and almost poisoned the whole family. Do you know how many DMs I got about that, Mom? The audience howled. Kelly clapped her hands in delight, clearly enjoying that Lola had walked right into the story. But darling, that was adorable. It's character building. Character building for who? Lola asked. For me, it was just trauma. For you, it was daytime entertainment. Mark finally chimed in, his voice calm but amused. In fairness, Lola, your mom makes a living out of storytelling. You just happen to be one of her favorite topics. Lola turned to him, arching an eyebrow. Dad, don't take her side. You're supposed to be the neutral one here. The crowd roared again. Kelly gasped, clutching her chest as though betrayed. Excuse me. I gave you life, young lady. The least you can do is give me some material. Without missing a beat, Lola leaned toward the camera, lowering her voice to a mock whisper. See what I deal with. America, send help. The studio shook with laughter. Even Mark was chuckling now, shaking his head as if to say, this is exactly what I knew would happen. Kelly, always quick on her feet, tried to regain control of the narrative. Okay, fine, you don't like me telling your stories. What about the fact that you still call me when your Wi-Fi goes out? Or when you can't figure out how to renew your driver's license online? Should I keep those private too? Absolutely. Lola shot back, her eyes sparkling with mock outrage. Do you want me to start telling the world how you once couldn't figure out how to use AirDrop and thought you'd been hacked? The audience screamed with laughter, clapping, and cheering. Kelly's mouth dropped open. For once, she'd been outmatched on her own stage. Mark leaned into his mic, his voice full of amusement. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in history, Kelly Ripa has been roasted into silence. Kelly dramatically waved her hands, surrendering. Okay, I'll give you this one, Lola. But remember, I still edit the family Christmas card. You may regret this clap back. Lola grinned, victorious. Worth it. The segment continued with more playful back and forth, but the moment quickly spread beyond the studio. Social media lit up. Clips of Lola's America, Send Help quip racked up millions of views within hours. Fans tweeted things like, Lola Consuelos clapping back at Kelly is the best thing I've seen all week. Kelly may be queen of daytime, but Lola just stole the crown. Give Lola her own talk show immediately. Even celebrities joined in, posting laughing emojis and tagging Kelly with playful warnings like, she's coming for your job. Back at home later that night, Kelly reflected on the segment. She wasn't upset. In fact, she was proud. She had raised a daughter who was confident, witty, and fearless enough to hold her own, even on national television. Still, she couldn't resist sending a text to Lola. You may have won today, but remember, I control the baby photos. Lola's reply came seconds later. Post them. And I'm going on The View. Kelly burst into laughter. She knew one thing for sure. The world hadn't seen the last of Lola Consuelos' clapbacks. Why it worked so well. The dynamic between Kelly and Lola is what made the moment so magnetic. Kelly has built her career on sharp humor and quick comebacks, but Lola inherited those same instincts and wasn't afraid to use them against her mom, even on live television. For years, audiences had heard Kelly's version of the Consuelos family stories, but watching Lola push back with equal charm gave fans a rare inside look at the balance of power in their household. It was proof that Kelly may run the daytime stage, but at home, her daughter is every bit her match. And if fans get their wish, it might not be long before Lola returns to the live stage, not just as a guest, but maybe one day as a co-host ready to spar with her mom full-time.